If you own it, are you worried about what's going to happen today, or are you slightly more optimistic?
You know, Dom, I am slightly more optimistic. I think the worst is priced in. And if you look technically at Home Depot, as it's been flat on the year, there is some technical strength here at $344. But when you talk about the tepid growth, I really do think it's been priced in. And you talk about year-over-year expectations down about 1.6%. However, those flat year-over-year sales, that is a concern. But I think with interest rates coming back under 4%, maybe home improvement gets a little bit of a uptick here, but it has been a laggard to the S&P 500 year-to-date, 1 year and 3 year. We saw that boom post-COVID, but now we're going to see how particular and finicky that consumer is to start spending again on their home improvement.
How much do rates factor into the investment thesis for both Home Depot and Lowe's? How much do rates have to go down and stay low for consumers to go back out and spend on not just the small do-it-yourself projects, but those bigger ticket things like appliance purchases and everything else?
I think it's a great point, Dom, and I think rates are the overarching theme, but I think sentiment is front and center. When you see this sentiment, just last Monday, we did see that reverberation of volatility hit the marketplace. Consumers get a little scared, and it's rightfully understandable that they get a little scared, a little spooked. But with the last couple of days, the resiliency of the marketplace, I think if you see interest rates come lower, we forecast them to come under 3.75% and stay there as we move into the fall. I think that is the opportunity in the sentiment change for all different types of investors and consumers to really go in and have home improvement. Home improvement has changed, Dom. This is not the Home Depot holding their exposure pre-COVID. Post-COVID, people are willing to spend for those amenities or if they work from home. It's just a different ballgame, and that's where Home Depot is positioned at a forward PE of only 22 times. I think it's at a discount here. I want to own this name. We own this name, and we think from a longer-term perspective, it's going to have the ability to regain its popularity amongst investors.
From a portfolio manager's standpoint, when it comes to the difference between the do-it-yourself retail customer like myself who was at Home Depot this past week buying gardening equipment and gardening tools versus the contractors or the pros, the business mix is important for the likes of Home Depot and Lowe's. What do you need to see out of that pro side of the business to make you feel better about Home Depot and Lowe's as well?
You hit the nail on the head, and I think that's the opportunity to see short-term this movement higher in Home Depot. And if they talk about pro and that forward kind of guidance, if you will, if it's going to be optimistic and talking about how that is regaining traction amongst the contractors, that's going to be the input. But the forward guidance, it's interesting, Dom. You know, all the forward guidance kind of took a back seat as we really wanted to see growth. We're so concerned about growth. But I think this specific report, which we're going to have here shortly, is going to reposition investors towards that forward guidance. If we see some optimism, because it's been such a laggard, I think that will allow the opportunity for Home Depot to move higher. It looks like short-term, Dom, $360 is the short-term price target I have.
All right, and before we let you go, you mentioned the option side of things. Is there a particular trade you're looking at right now with regard to how to get exposure to Home Depot?
Well, when you see a stalemate in the price like we have in the last 1 and 2 years, we've utilized covered calls. So covered calls is an opportunity to synthetically produce income in a name when it's not moving up and it's kind of moving sideways. But I think at this moment in time, we have to be more considerate about selling puts here because I want to own this name. I think 344 is a line in the sand, Don. That's a very technical support area. So I want to be an owner here. So you can sell puts going in this as long as you're comfortable owning Home Depot.